Hello, Klaus here, and welcome back to yet another video here at the channel. In today's video, we're going to have a look at the new Davinci Resolve 17 from Blackmagic, and this is just a preview, so let's go download Davinci Resolve, have a look at some of the new features, and see how it all works. So, without further ado, let's go to the computer. Okay, so let's get right to it. Let's go into the web here. Here we are on Blackmagic Design's homepage. And if we want to read a lot about what is in the new version, we can of course read that right here. We'll go into the support page and we'll go down here, and I'm going to download the Blackmagic Davinci Resolve 17 Beta 1, and I'm going to take the studio version because that is what I am currently working with. And I'm on Windows. We're going to download that, and let's just download that and jump into the installer as well. Okay, so let's just open up Davinci Resolve 16. So meanwhile, downloading the software of Davinci Resolve 17, it might be a super good idea to go and back up our database, and we can do that by clicking here. And I have my database here, so I am just going to save that. Are you sure you would like to back up the local database? Yes, I want to back that up. And then we just let Davinci Resolve do its thing, and then we can close down 16 afterwards, installing 17, and we are good to go. Okay, so after installing Davinci Resolve 17, you'll pop up in the menu here, and it's asking you to update your database. And of course, you also did do a backup of your old database. If something crashes and things go wrong, then you can always divert back to 16. And also a question to answer and maybe to ask: is it wise to update to Davinci Resolve 17 if you're in the middle of a huge project? Most likely not. But I like living life a little bit dangerous, so I dare to update, and we'll see what's going on, and maybe I'll have to cry later. We'll find out. So I'm just going to update my database here, clicking that. And let's see what's happening if all my projects are now disappearing. I don't hope so. So finally, here we have the database updated. So let's go into a project. Let's go into my video preset project, and let's see what's to work with and how it all looks. Oh, I have a update for my keyboard, and I do have the Blackmagic Editor's keyboard, so I want to update that. Yes, please. Yeah. Oh, I also have the micro. Yes, please update my keyboard. Great. Okay, so let's just jump into it. So this is, of course, as you can see, the beta down here of Davinci Resolve 17. Everything looks pretty much the same. As you see, there is no new tabs in this update. We have the standard tabs, and as I said in the previous video, I wouldn't expect that they would actually make another tab, so that makes sense. So there is some new things, of course, in here. In fact, there is around 300 fixes and new features in Davinci Resolve 17, and I can't run through them all. I'll just run through some of them. And this is actually also the first time I'm opening up the software, so we'll have to see if I can figure it out. So first off, let's go to cut page. And if you look at the cut page, everything looks pretty normal here. Although there is a new thing added into the cut page, which I think is why I, in the first place, had problems using the cut page. I was missing the inspector, and the inspector is now in the cut page, and the inspector itself has a totally new layout as well. We'll look at that in a second. We also have a full screen view. We can click that, and push escape to come back. Since I had no media on, it was just a black screen. So let's just get some media on here. Let's go on this. Let's take one of these test shots I did. This one. Okay, I'll just jump into the edit page here, or into the cut page here. And again, the cut page works as it usually works. There's nothing too much changed about that as well. So, and you know, nothing has changed in the cut page actually. Also, I actually don't know if that was in the last version of, can't remember actually. But if you right click, the clip attributes is here, and that is nice for me because this clip is a anamorphic shot and I want to make that for the right aspect ratio of anamorphic. I'm just going to click OK to that. Okay, great. So again, also introduced at the Blackmagic event were the Blackmagic, or the Speed Editor keyboard, which is a miniature version of the editor's keyboard with all the buttons made specifically for the cut page. And if you're interested in that, Blackmagic are doing a bundle where if you buy the studio version of Davinci Resolve, you will get the editor speed keyboard for free. So let's jump onto that. I'll go into the to the edit page here. And here I have my stuff in the edit page. And let's just have a look at what is new in the inspector here. So as you see here in the inspector, we have this new set of things up here. We have the transform, which is the normal transform mode, where we can zoom our clips and change the position and the rotation and all of that good stuff. And of course, as usually, we can reset everything back to normal. Then we have the smart reframe, and that is supposed to make your subjects be, for instance, in the middle. If you want to do that, if you want to have a reference point, for instance, you have this thing here, and I want this to be centered in my video. I can push the reframe. And then it's just analyzing the clip here and trying to make sure that the person will be in the frame of the middle of the frame. So if we run the clip here, we can actually see that she is pretty centered. So this clip were not the best example. And also the reframe will be super nice if you're doing, for instance, different content videos on YouTube and on Instagram, for instance. You could then make the videos more centered, so you don't have to do that manually. But I'll make a video about that when I am more into that. And then we have the cropping options. As usually, we can crop our image like we want. Nothing new there. We have the dynamic zoom, which can make zooms in our videos. We're not going to use that for this. Then we have the composite. And the composite mode is actually moved way down because it used to be up in the top, but now it's down here. So that's going to take some getting used to, I believe. Then we have a new thing, and that is the speed change. As you know, when you're doing a speed change in the other versions of Davinci, you would have to go into the clip and then go into change speed here. You can still do that, of course, but now you can do it in here, and we can change the speed of the clip. So if we take the clip and let's say we make this 500 times faster, and the frame duration is still 24, and we're going to make it fit here. So now we have made the clip here super fast. Just like that. And okay, we are just going to reset everything of that again. And then we have the stabilization again built in here. And that is a great stabilizer, so I'm not going to use time on that right now. And we have the lens correction and the retime and scale if you want to change stuff in your project like that. Then we have the audio, and here we can change all of our audio, pan, pitch, equalizers, all of that good stuff. We can change that here. Then we have a new one, and that is the effects control. And I haven't added any controls, but then all of the controls for the effects would be here. Then we have a transitions control, which is going to be the same. If we drop in a transition, you can change the parameters up here. Then we have a image, and that is made specifically for files shot in Blackmagic RAW. So if I go in here, I can actually change the things to clip, for instance, and I can change the ISO, stuff like that. And I can also do a bit of a color grade using the raw files, something like that would be a way to do that. Nice little thing. And then the last thing is the file management. And here I can update the files, or I can organize my files. So I know a lot of things. I can also change the color of my clip if I want to do that. So if I wanted this to be yellow, it would be yellow, stuff like that. So that is some great new features in the inspector. Then we have a lot of other things as well. We are going to the effects library, and if we go into our transitions, you might see that the icons here as well has changed. They are quite wider, and they are now also built in a preview. So if you scrub through the video here, you can actually see the transitions, how they are working. And that's a super nice feature, I think. So that we can do with all of the different ones. I think that this is nice, super useful. And again, as usually, we could take a transition and drag that down on our clip here. And then we will add that in. So as usually, you could go down and right click and of course create your transition preset if you have changed anything. And as I told before, you can go up to the inspector into transitions and change the duration and all of that good stuff. So with that out of the way, we'll see at some of the new stuff as well. Let's go into the titles. Again, we can now see how the titles look just by hovering over. And there is a bunch of new titles and things to be played with and to be, again, created and changed as well. So that is super nice and super easy to work with. Also a new little thing. Let's just take my custom title here. So people have been asking for this for a million times. Now you actually have a preview of your fonts, which is a super new thing and a very helpful thing as well. So I've been asking for this for years, and now finally Blackmagic listened, and that is so great. And it's going to save time not previewing all the text. Okay, also added is a bunch of new effects. We're not going to run into that too much, but this one we can actually run through pretty fast. So now inside of the edit page and cut page, we actually have the ability to green screen stuff. And I'll show you that in a second. We have a super bad green screen clip here. So let's see if we can key that out just for the reference here. So if we go into the effects library and we can go into the effects, as you see, we have the adjustment clips and the fusion composition as usually. Again, we also have binoculars, so we can make that effect. A lot of different fusion effects are in here, but we don't care too much about those. Let's just search for a key. Okay, we're going to the open effects, which also have a lot of new stuff, and we're going to run through all of those stuff in upcoming videos. So here we have our 3D keyer. I'm just going to drag that clip down here. like so. And then we can go into our effects in the inspector. And if we go to this icon here, we are going to change this to Open Effects Overlay, which is going to give us the ability to draw here. And as you see, this was not the best clip in the world to do that with. In fact, we could just go back and go on to the image, and it is a clip here, so we could change the exposure a bit and something like that. Let's go back to the effect. But the basic is, of course, we are going to draw in some shapes, and we can take the despill to despill this, and then we can go down here. We have a mask finesse. You can play around with that. Again, we'll do a separate video on this. Then we have our output. We have the final composition. We can also have a highlighter showing us the highlights, or we can have a black and white highlighter. So we could actually try to denoise this a little here, clean the blacks. Let's clean the whites a little bit, take the denoiser a little down. Something like that. Let's see, final composite. Okay, here we have that clip, and that is absolutely not the best clip to choose, but we did do a key, and then we could, let's say, take this and put over here, and then with a bit of grading, actually, it's not that of bad a key. We could color grade this a little bit, which is going to jump into the next page, actually, which is the color in this instance. And just to show that there are some new stuff in the color as well, not going to run through it, but the look of the color page is changed. All the pages where you could shift around from the temperature down to the color boost is now on the same page, so you don't have to do that, which I think is pretty darn nice. And we could then just do a quick grade here on my panel here, something like that. And we also have new tools available in here. I'll run to those in other videos because I need to figure out how they work. Just to say, this looks pretty good. New features again, and all the preview stuff, and nice. Okay, going back here, we're just going to drag that in like so, and let's go to Fusion. Hello, Klaus here, and welcome back to yet another video here at the channel. And okay, here we have that sound in Fusion, just like so. And I think that is a pretty nice feature. Anyway, this was just a super quick overview of the Davinci Resolve 17. Very quick peek of what to come in the upcoming videos. And hopefully you would find this video useful. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, share it with your friends if you think it will help them out. And if you want to be notified every time there's a new video on this channel, please hit that bell icon down in the corner. Until next time, keep filming, keep learning, and keep sharing.